next episode of Daniel's Desk. Today, I'm actually sitting down with Betsy Werbel from the cast of Wicked. And I thought this episode would be really interesting to talk with Betsy about her experience on the cast of Wicked. I know so many of you watching are trying to get on Broadway. I have several friends myself who are going to audition after audition, who've spent years just in the audition process trying to get on Broadway. So I thought it'd be super fascinating to talk with Miss Betsy Werbel about her experience on Broadway and just how she got there. So Betsy, thank you and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So can we just get started with how you did it? And I feel like most people are super intrigued with how long it took you, but let's start there.
Well, I mean, honestly, I've been singing since I was a little girl. Since I was 10 years old, I went to a voice teacher when I was 13, which is kind of abnormal for kids, you know. And it was just, I kind of was under the wing of a teacher, and she kind of pushed me and made me audition for things. And next thing I knew, I was sort of talented, and I was getting things in high school. And then I was sort of, pursued to get. Go into conservatory training, and so
you went to a conservatory.
I went to
high
the
school?
Cincinnati College Conservatory of Music. No, in University of Cincinnati. So I went to college. So after high school, where I did just theater for fun, but I loved it. It was an amazing, experience always.
You're literally working the evening shift during the day. You're running out and going to auditions.
Yeah.
So how many auditions a day would you?
Back then, I was at sometimes 2-3 auditions a day. I would literally just bring different outfits with me, or just go from work. Sometimes I was temping, sometimes I was waiting tables, lunch breaks, types of thing to go on auditions. Now they're not as prevalent because the older you get, the more specific you are. When you're 23 years old, fresh off the boat, you just go for everything, and you can do anything, and you can conquer anything. So, even dance calls, I was dancing with dancers in Broadway now, and now I'm no dance.
That's not me.
No, thank you.
Girl, I've tried dancing once in college, and all my friends watching can attest it was a disaster.
I mean, I move in Wicked, so some people would be like, Betsy, you dance. I was like, no, I'm on the statue when everybody else is flying in the air, singing, so that it sounds like people are still singing.
My biggest experience, I think what I try to impress people with is the pas de beret. I just throw out that term, and I'm like, I can do a pas de beret, and then it seems like I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, no.
It's a good word.
Right? It's a good, fancy word. Wait, okay, so you were auditioning 3 to 4 times a day, and you finally got cast in this tour. That's a national tour.
National tour of Les Miserables. Yeah, it was a little after their 10-year anniversary. So Les Mis had already been around for 10 years when I joined in 1997.
Okay.
And I toured around the country with Les Miserables until 1999, actually, and came back here for Y2K.
Ooh.
And
is that something you would recommend to people? If they want to get on Broadway, is national experience good, or is it just distracting from your dreams?
And especially when you're young. Yes, it does take you away from New York, so that can be, it can affect your career. It just depends on how you come back. When you come back, you have to just go full force again and, get your contacts and stuff and let people know that you're back in town. Yeah.
Did you make contacts on that helped you when you got back to the city, or you just felt like the experience itself and the practice really helped motivate you once you got back?
I mean, yes and yes. I mean, yes, I made contacts on tour. I mean, do they come back to New York? Some of them, and most of the people are the people that you actually work with on the show. Those are the contacts that you'll continue working with here in New York. So, yeah.
It's hard. Yeah. It's hard once you get back.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, so then you are now touring, you're back in the city. What happens next? What do you book next?
Well, actually, Broadway called me, Les Mis Broadway. So I made my debut in Les Miserables on Broadway.
They called you?
They called me, yeah, because I was a swing in Les Mis. So basically, I was in the ensemble, but I understudied the entire ensemble. So I understudied 12 roles on Les Mis.
Does that mean you literally have to know every single part, and you have to be able to step
Except for the principals, yes. So I was always, I don't know if you know Les Mis, but I was the hair hag and the woman who cut Fontine's hair, and I was a whore, and I played all the whores, every single one of them. Actually.
Girl, haven't we all? Haven't we all? Some of us get paid, some of
That's
us
true.
not.
Exactly. So, I was all those girls in the ensemble. So because of that, I was somewhat valuable to them because I could come in, if someone got hurt or somebody was on vacation or they needed an extra hand, I could come in and do 12 roles versus just one.
You said that you had an agent. How does one, let's say I want to get on Broadway, how do I get an agent?
I mean, I was very lucky because I had that showcase in school to sort of get me on that platform, and so it got me sort of my name out there to see. But I mean, really, it's just you have to audition for them just like anybody else. So it's networking. It's if you know somebody that's with an agent and they like you as a performer, putting in a good word is always a good thing. And then usually they'll call or you have to call
And so it's just like Broadway, it's like you audition to the agent, they say like, this person has talent, I can represent them?
Yeah. I mean, back in the day when I had to sort of make a decision on an agent, I interviewed with a bunch of them, and so it was just what was a good fit for me. Some people had a vision for me that I was like, oh, that is never going to happen, as far as like what I'm capable of doing.
Yeah.
Some of them, really had a grasp on what I could grow into, in my future, what is good for me now. Some just wanted right then, there, and now for me to be a star, So it was what I chose for myself at that moment.
Are they vicious like your college professors in terms of you need to lose this certain weight, you need to dye your hair, you need to...
Yeah, they're very honest. And because they need to be, because their job is reliant on you booking the job.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have to be, and so it is somewhat similar, and they're pretty relentless as well. If you haven't worked in a while, they will drop you. They will be like, okay, we're good, bye, see ya. So they will.
Phone call, like, hey girl.
Sometimes there's not even a phone call. Trust me. Sometimes it's just they just never get a phone call again, and you have to call and they don't return your phone calls. Sometimes that happens too.
So who has been the most exciting person to come see Wicked that you've been able to like see and kind of hobnob with? Like has Oprah come or any of the big hitters?
Yeah, there have definitely been some big hitters. We definitely had a Kim and Kanye sighting at one point, which was hilarious.
Was this post the robbery?
Yeah, this is before. This is before, way before. This is probably, I don't know, 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. There was definitely like 2 seats in the second row that were empty, and then like people, then they had bodyguards bring them down like when the show started. So we were all on stage like, because you can see.
So you're not giving pre-warning, like, by the way, Kim and Kanye.
No, well, we weren't. I don't know. Somebody was, but maybe the girl playing Alphaba was, but we weren't. But we definitely were like, I think that is coming back. And then lo and behold, it was. But they didn't come back. They left early. But yeah, there was definitely a Kim and Kanye sighting. That was exciting.
Wow, and I came a couple weeks ago, so that was my security was there. It was pretty.
I saw you walking down the aisle. I did.
But Wicked is such an exciting show. I feel like there's so many moving pieces. There's such a good theme. What's the best part about working in the Wicked cast?
Ooh. I think the story, the message of what Wicked is all about, especially with what's going on in the world right now and women empowerment. And it's just a powerful show about a person that, has been judged her whole life for just being one way and not appreciated for who she really is. And, don't judge a book by its cover, the whole thing. I just think it's a beautiful message of a relationship between 2 women and their struggles in life and how they got to be who they are and who you think they might be and all that stuff. So I just love it. I think it's a beautiful message about strong women. Yeah. And then there was one time I actually fell in Wicked. There's a moment where I give Glinda the witch's hat, the pointy witch's hat, and I'm like one of the mean girls. I'm like, Glinda, like, what is this? And we have this little like giggly moment, and I'm supposed to do it. It's like dun 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 dun, and I'm supposed to like spin and run like all across the stage in like literally 1.5 seconds. And so I spun, and I think my foot caught the girl right behind me because we're moving at the same time, and I think my foot caught her, and I literally fell flat on my face. But the best part is the music goes dun 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 dun, and it stops, and in that moment I'm in a spotlight. So it's like,
Oh my gosh!
Betsy on the floor in the spotlight.
You what do you do? Were you
It was terrible.
Face down?
Yes, face down. But the best is I had this hat box because I carry this hat on with this hat box. So I was like, the thing that was in my brain was, don't fall on top of the hat box. Don't ruin the hat box.
Don't ruin the hat box.
So the hat box was like in the air, like perfectly wonderful, and I'm like on the ground, like face plant, like hilarious.
Were you
Somehow I made it onto my knees, and then because I had to get back up and run off stage, so it was definitely an extravaganza in a spotlight.
Was that one of those moments where you're like, my agent might not?
I was like, definitely not getting signed again.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay, so I want to take us back again to the audition process. I feel like a lot of people I talk to who are, auditioning, oftentimes hear so much failure, right? They're like, they hear the word no a lot. How did you overcome, first, how often did you fail? And then how did you overcome that failure?
I mean, you fail every day, like 10 times a day, honestly. It's a constant game of rejection. It's it's a constant game of like preparing yourself. When you go into an audition, you get a character and you have to be that character. Like you have to do research and you have to become that character and you have to prove to them that you can do it.
They give you a script of like, this is who you're gonna.
Sometimes they do, yeah. So if you're going in for a role, sometimes they'll give you sides that's scenes that they do. They'll give you if there's a couple scenes that they do, they'll send you just a portion of some of those scenes so that you can practice. And sometimes you have to do it with the casting director or just some random person who's just reading lines with you. So there's no chemistry, there's no there's none of that where you get to practice with each other and really like find it. So you have to come in prepared, like even if your accompanist is terrible, even if the reader that you're reading with is terrible, you have to come in and prove to them that this is
what you want,
was made for you.
Yeah. What happens next? You get this phone call. It says you have been cast in Wicked. Do they fly you out and you start performing the next week? Or
sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, we're contractually obligated to give 4 weeks notice. Sometimes there's more notice. Sometimes there's only 4 weeks notice. So, in the time that the person in the show gives notice, they have to then arrange auditions for the next replacement, and that usually takes about a week for agents to get through to casting directors and do all their submissions, and they have to do auditions that next week. Then they have to approve. Sometimes it takes 1 day, 2 days to kind of go through the audition process. Then the person has to agree to do that, and then they usually get 2 weeks rehearsal. So if you think about it, 4 weeks notice, by the end of the second week, they're just casting that person. Yeah. And then come the third week, they have to start the person in rehearsals and get costumes made for them, and so that's a 2 week period.
2 weeks to learn that role that you'll be on Broadway. Wow.
2 weeks, yeah. I mean, it's literally like you learn the show in a room with the dance captain, which is sort of the head choreographer for, in the cast, like of who kind of like when the head choreographers and the assistant choreographers can't be there, the dance captain is the person that you go to for questions. That's there every day. So they teach the show to new people, and so they sort of teach you in a room with sort of markings on the stage of what the stage sort of looks like, and they sort of walk you right through it. You never really get to do it on stage at all.
So you never get to be in the spot that you're actually going to be in.
Eventually, like the last day, like right before you go on, you have what we call a Puddin, which is in costume, only you in costume, only you in microphone, and the cast is there, but they're in like street clothes, and you basically just do a run through of the show with most of the cast. Not everybody's always there, so
I'd be so bad.
And it's really like there are some lights and stuff like that for a Puddin, but it's definitely not like the show. There's no orchestra, there's nothing. So when you first do the show, you hear that orchestra the first time, you're like,
because you think of like high school and then college and then all these things that I've only been in a couple of shows. But Tech Week, when you are going through the rehearsal, you want it to be exactly like the show, so there's no surprises.
Yeah.
It's surprising that Broadway isn't like that. It's like the first night you're hearing the
Oh yeah. I mean, that's that's the difference between being a professional and not being a professional. Is you kind of get everything spoon fed you when you're not a professional. When you're a professional, they expect you to do it. And I actually just recently got a new job. I'm going to be working for an event company, and I'm going to be producing the multiple sclerosis walk runs here in the New York City area.
That's amazing.
So that's a new project that I'm working on.
That is awesome.
It's petrifying and terrifying. But I'm going to make a big step right now and try and do something that's just as fulfilling as performing without the
grueling schedule.
The grueling schedule and, the pain in my bones.
That is, I feel like I owe you a hug. That is amazing work. I feel like you worked so hard to achieve this dream, and then now you're like, I'm going to get even further with my dream of ultimately helping people out, what you do every day when you're on stage. Because
I do,
you don't even know.
But you don't know it so immediately. You know, yes, they applaud at the end, but when it's very specific and people come up to you and they say that they noticed you or thank you.
Well, I want to end by, I have this new game that I'm going to play, and it's, do you know the hot seat? When you're, in the hot seat for a question or a game? Yeah. Well, I'm going to call this the hat seat. So the hat seat works. There are two. This is my Make America Gay Again hat in honor of our president. So you have to pick two of these things. Some of them are really innocent, and some of them are a little more risque. Okay. And you have to answer them honestly, because this is the hat seat. So don't look, just pick one, and then we will. Okay.
I'm so nervous.
And then read it, and then answer that one, and we'll do the second one too. Read it.
I have to read it out loud.
Yes. Oh, she got a good one.
Someone who is mean to you at some point is watching. What is your message to them?
Oh, okay.
This is a hard one. There's I'm thinking of two people that were mean to me.
That said you couldn't get on Broadway, or that professor who said, gotta lose those 5 pounds. Say something to that professor right now.
No, I got something. It's an old friend of mine that actually said to me, it was 2 weeks before I got Les Mis too, which was so funny. And he was mad at me. I think he had a little bit too much to drink, and it was just one of those situations where he was just yelling at me. He was like, "You're never gonna make it on Broadway, Betsy." And I was so hurt by that statement, where I was devastated because he was a good friend of mine. And then 2 weeks later, I got Les Mis.
Woo! Yeah! Look at the camera. Got it.
Gotcha.
I was watching this interview with Oprah and Steve Harvey, and he said something that resonated with me that was just so powerful. Do not tell your big dreams to small-minded people. So I feel like that's a quote that I love, that I want to share with you all. Steve Harvey said it, but I feel like it's so true. You can't tell your big aspirations to people who, can't accept that. So.
Yeah, and people are going to always be critical of everything. So you just, even this career choice for me, people are like, why would you do this? Why would you leave Broadway? Why would you do this? Yeah. I was like, it's not your life. It's mine. Yeah. I'm doing what's best for me, and this is my next journey in life.
All right, well, round 2, last one.
Okay. Well, I hope it's a funny one, not so serious. If you could say one thing to President Trump.
Oh my gosh, you got some heavy hitters.
Funny one.
Okay, you got some heavy hitters
right now.
You got some heavy hitters.
Okay. When was your first kiss? Describe the scene.
Oh, your first kiss? Okay, you want to take a sip for that one?
Yeah, okay. Oh my God, I hope he's not watching. All right, so it was 7th grade, and it was definitely cliche. We were in, I can't remember whose basement it was, but we were in somebody's basement. We were playing Truth or Dare, and, whatever, it got on me, and then they dared me, and I'm not going to say his name. Actually, I'm going to say his name because it's a good one. Brett Becker. It's a good one, Brett Becker. And we went to a closet, and we made out. He stuck his tongue down his throat, and I was totally disgusted. It was awful. It was awful.
Was it 7 minutes in heaven, or...
closet? I don't know. It's just I dare you to go kiss them in the closet, and so then we kissed. We kissed for a while, but
I was kissing in the closet for years. So. I know what it's like. I'm out of that closet. But thank you, Betsy, for coming.
We're both out of the closet now.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. And Give me a hug.
Thank you, Daniel.
I
It's
really
fun.
hope that people were inspired by something you said, and I feel like if they don't, you didn't have that in college. You felt like you couldn't do it, and you overcame that. So if that's one message you want to take away from this episode, then definitely do it. You can pursue your dreams too. Welcome to Gripes with Grimes. Today's gripe has to do with the American English vernacular and its many problems. Let's start with gender. Like, why can I say to a mixed group of men and women, hey guys, and everything's fine? But the moment I say, hey girls, the guys get all up in arms. Or, why are women subjected to the word men in so much of our language? Let's see. Young women can have mentors. Young women have to go through menstruation. For heaven's sakes, it's called menopause. Like, our language doesn't even end with gender problems. Let's talk race. Why is everything negative black? Black male, blacklisted, black sheep, black Christmas, etc., etc., etc. In fact, I'm going to personally combat this by replacing everything negative black with the word white. Let's try it out. Hey, did you see Reginald cheating on his boyfriend last week? Ooh, the one that works for O Magazine? Mm-hmm. I'm going to personally white mail him and to get me a free subscription of that magazine. See, America, our language is problematic. If you agree, comment below. If you disagree, comment below. Just make sure you tune in next week to Daniel's Desk.